I close my eyes and you are still in my mind, transporting me to an intermediate phase between distance and absence. Suddenly, your image tore me from my lethargy, not from a dream, but from the dense fog where time dissolves. It was a shockwave exploding in the limbo of echoes, like a resonance between two worlds that never quite merge or separate. Each of my heartbeats is a murmur of your name, a spell that attempts to erase the boundaries between what was and what continues to be in the immaterial universe of my thoughts. The transcendent presence here, we are not speaking of a mere memory, but of a quantum entanglement of the soul, where the information of a loved one persists and manifests, defying the barriers of space. This intermediate phase between distance and absence is in essence a state of existential superposition, where duality dissolves into a deeper unity. We will delve into how this intermediate state becomes a catalyst for spiritual awakening, revealing that the most powerful connection is not limited to proximity, but to the vibrational resonance of the soul. Have you ever felt trapped between memory and reality, longing for a connection that seems unattainable? The rational mind struggles to understand what escapes its categories, generating a sense of loss or unreality. The perceived absence can become a mental prison, impeding personal advancement and inner peace. However, the solution lies in reinterpreting this absence not as a void, but as a latent energy field. The shockwave bursting in the limbo of echoes is the manifestation of soul interconnectedness. It is proof that energetic imprints do not fade, they transform. This wave, a psychic resonance, pierces the veil of the tangible, demonstrating that presence can manifest in the vibrational dimension of being. It is not a ghost from the past, but a vital pulse that nourishes consciousness in the present. Each of my heartbeats is a murmur of your name, a spell that attempts to erase the boundaries between what was and what remains in the immaterial universe of my thoughts. This is the key to spiritual growth through active remembrance. Our heartbeats, like rhythmic fractals, not only pump blood but also emit a vibrational frequency that acts as a dimensional bridge. The murmur of your name is an involuntary mantra, a subconscious affirmation that reshapes our perception of reality, allowing the image to persist, not as a burden, but as a source of inspiration and guidance. Have you ever felt trapped between memory and reality, longing for a connection that seems unattainable? What if the absence of that which you yearn for were, in fact, a secret portal to a higher form of connection? One that defies the laws of Newtonian physics and invites you into a dance with the cosmos. This provocation heightens discomfort, but also introduces a hopeful vision. By addressing universal themes such as love, loss, connection, and purpose, the text touches deep emotional chords, fostering an empathetic response that motivates the reader to share it with others who may be on a similar quest. This poetic algorithmic investigation reveals that memory is not a mere storehouse of data, but a dynamic energy field where the essence of connections persists and manifests. The intermediate phase between distance and absence is ultimately an invitation to transcend the linear perception of time and space, and to recognize the transcendent presence that unites us with all beings, living or seemingly absent. The act of evoking an image or a memory is not passive, it is an act of co-creation, a spell that strengthens the invisible thread of soulful intertwining. By understanding this, we transform the pain of separation into the wisdom of interconnectedness, and nostalgia into a source of personal power and unlimited spiritual growth. If every heartbeat is a spell that redefines reality, what other unconscious murmurs are we emitting that shape our personal universe? Could we, through conscious intention, manifest and strengthen these interdimensional connections at will? If absence is only a limited perspective of vibrational presence, what other realities are we failing to perceive by clinging to the limitations of our five senses? Is there a sixth sense that allows us to tune in to these expansive waves of remembrance and spiritual connection? Will you continue to allow apparent absence to limit you? Or will you dare to explore the vast interdimensional presence that awaits you, redefining your own existence and the nature of love in the cosmos?